Good morning, and welcome to this month's edition of Sow the Land, brought to you by Minorities for Medical Marijuana. My name is Stanley Atkins A.K.A, and I am your National Director of Hemp Farming and Technology with Minorities for Medical Marijuana. So this month we're doing a little bit different. So I know in previous months we've had guests, we've had products, we've had innovators, we've had cultivators. Well, as we gear up for the world's biggest cannabis conference going down in Las Vegas, I want to do a special episode to give you some how-tos, how-not-tos, some do's and don'ts for maximizing your experience at MJ Biz Con. What is MJ Biz Con? Where is MJ Biz Con, and what goes on there? Well, MJ Biz Con is presented by MJ Biz Daily. It is arguably one of the largest conferences and expos in the cannabis industry throughout the world. It is always hosted in beautiful Las Vegas. This year's event is going to have some first-timers specialties for you. So a rundown about MJ BizCon: it is the ultimate opportunity for you to connect, engage, and reach out to those entities in the industry who you may have normally not been able to reach out to. Has there been a product or a brand that you really needed a point of contact that you just couldn't seem to get much responses from either social media or email or sometimes even calling? MJ BizCon is that opportunity. MJ BizCon is filled with thousands of vendors, lots of great speakers, and networking opportunities. The conference includes the expo floor. So for many people who may not be going to any of the breakout sessions, things of that nature, they have the expo floor ticket, which is the general admission ticket. This ticket gets you onto the expo floor and access to all of its vendors. If you feel that your brand or your project may need a little bit more in-depth information, MJ BizCon offers lots of breakout groups, discussion panels, and even luncheons and mixers. But why MJ BizCon? Why Las Vegas? Well, sometimes in the industry, there's only so much you can do online. There's only so much you can do through email. And there's only so much that can happen on social media. There are many times in this industry where you need to put a name with a face, and you need to do it in person. Again, MJ BizCon is that opportunity. So one of the exciting new announcements for this year is called Tips for First Timers. So if this is your first time going to MJ BizCon, it is a lot going on that week. It can be quite overwhelming. I tell people, make sure to pace yourself and don't burn out, and be sure to wear comfortable shoes. This year we're going to start out with the Tips for First Timers, and this is on the MJ Biz Daily page. And it states that get ready to take your career or business to the next level at MJ BizCon. This isn't your typical lifestyle show where people come, browse, and window shop. Everyone here means business. When it comes to attire, be yourself or dress to impress with business casual attire. But again, wear comfortable shoes because you'll do a lot of walking between the expo. The expo floor alone is equivalent to, I think, 6 football fields. And make sure to let your friends know you're going to be at MJ BizCon. That way, you can get ready to connect with industry experts in every single field. If you don't know many people, don't worry. Go up to some of the tables and just try introducing yourself. It's a friendly bunch of people there, and I feel that MJ BizCon could be one of the most vital steps to new entrepreneurs and those looking to connect in the industry. One more thing is that we want to make sure that you maximize your time at MJ BizCon. So going into it with a strategic plan is a vital part for your success. And one more part that it states that for first comers on November 29th from 8:30 to 10:30, join them for the First Timers Open House. It's going to be a coffee and meet and greet networking opportunity for first timers to meet with MJ Biz staff and some of the other organizers to help get you along your path for success. Now, you've made the decision to go to MJ BizCon. You have a goal in mind for your brand. You know roughly the people you want to connect with. Well, it all starts with planning. So I've laid out about 10 key steps to help you maximize your experience at MJ BizCon. Here at Minorities for Medical Marijuana, we have been fortunate to be at MJ BizCon for several years now. I want to say this is our fourth or fifth conference, maybe even more. And each year it just grows more and more. We started out coming and having a dice mixer and, perusing the showroom floor. As for the last few years, M for MM has had a table on the showroom floor, and it has helped us do nothing but grow and connect with more and more people. Our goal at Minorities for Medical Marijuana, is to connect, attract, and engage with those entrepreneurs, those owners, or even those investors in the space. From the Canna experienced to the Canna curious, there's always a fit for you here at M4MM. So coming to MJ BizCon and joining us, hey, your vibe attracts your tribe, right? Well, we've learned that we're a tribe that keeps on vibing. So with some of the things that I want you to do, we're going to start with planning. So if you can take notes, if you want to screenshot this, one of the key things to ensuring your success at MJ BizCon is strategic planning. What I want you to do is think about what you're looking to do. Think about the outcome you're looking to attain, and outline your goals and objectives for the conference in advance. Ensuring your attendance aligns with your business goals and your career objectives in the cannabis industry. If you know that this industry is for you, then maybe it's time to get your feet wet by going to MJ BizCon. Networking focus. Always network with intent. It's not just a time to attend after parties and mixers and try all the newest and best products and gadgets, but it's also a time to network. Your network determines your net worth. Prioritizing networking opportunities, building connections with professionals, exhibitors, and potential collaborators, but also attend social events while you're there. Attend mixers, attend luncheons. If there are after hours activities, sometimes you may want to connect with some of those groups and some of those parties to maximize the actual opportunities that you have to talk to those individuals. So if a magazine is having a luncheon or a product brand is having a luncheon, you may want to get a ticket to the luncheon. If you realize that conversations went well at the luncheon and they advise that they may be having a business mixer or a happy hour, that may be an additional opportunity to follow up with some of those initial conversations to really drive that focus home that you're here and you mean business. Another aspect of the conference is educational sessions. I know that this is one of my favorite aspects of conferences, expos, and events of this nature, because educational sessions teach you how to take the education that you have, build on it to help you ensure your success for the future. Plan your schedule around some of the key educational sessions. Once you look at the conference agenda, if you see that there are several educational sessions that align with your goals, try to plan your days where you can attend those to stay informed. These keep you informed about industry trends, regulations, innovative skills and practices, and keeping you abreast of what's next. Another thing is always prepare an elevator pitch. If you've never written an elevator and you've never pitched, you guys, what's an elevator pitch? An elevator pitch is a 1 minute to 2 minute pitch, or maybe even 30 seconds at times, that you can meet someone, and within that short amount of time, they know who you are, what you do, and what you're looking to do in business. By the time you get off that short elevator ride, they should know whether they want to or to not continue the conversation. So elevator pitches are crucial. A few years ago, I was selected to enter a business pitch competition at MJ BizCon. It was kind of last minute that I found out, and I didn't fret. I didn't let that worry me, because I was like, okay, I have a plan. I know I have something that can work. Isn't that time? Just put the action behind it. So having that pitch, I have met countless brands that say they went to MJ BizCon with an idea and they left with a business partner. So creating a concise, compelling elevator pitch about yourself or your business, and be ready to articulate your value proposition to potential partners. investors, and even clients, because the value that you bring is what is going to attract them to your investment opportunity or to your product or the brand that you're working on. Another thing that I think is very important is researching exhibitors. I don't know how important this is to you, but this is one of my key goals to success. Familiarize yourself with the list of exhibitors beforehand. Identify companies of interest. Identify the companies who you want to connect with and plan to visit their booths, gain insights, explore partnerships, or even just discover their products and services. So knowing what vendors are going to be there, knowing what vendors could potentially benefit you and your business, and trying to make it a point to stop by that booth. One of the other key points for you is to stay organized. Look, MJ BizCon Week is full of parties, it's full of networking, it's full of free things, it's full of free swag bags and t-shirts and hats. Stay focused. There is a lot that can happen, and I've seen attendees who didn't really prepare themselves for such a robust conference, and what they do, they got out there, and within about 36 hours, they burned out. They were tired, their feet were hurting, and they had lost their voice from talking. Prioritize planning. Pace yourself. It's going to be a long week. MJ BizCon goes from November 28th to December 1st this year. Take your time, pace yourself, all right? The parties aren't going anywhere. The happy hours aren't going anywhere. But sometimes these opportunities may go somewhere. But again, with staying organized, utilize conference apps, the MJ BizCon apps, or tools to stay organized. Be sure to keep track of your schedule and make sure that you know that the sessions that you want to attend and the contacts who are going to be speaking at those sessions. This will help you make some of the most valuable time count for you, and then make the most of your opportunities. Engaging Q&As. This is very important because there are often opportunities at MJ BizCon, along with other conferences, to ask the questions that you've been wanting to ask on LinkedIn, to ask the question that you've been sitting stirring your cup of coffee for the last 6 weeks, wondering, is something possible? MJ BizCon is the opportunity for you to ask and potentially get the correct answer. I'm not going to say that everything that you will hear during the week is the best, is the most efficient, but information will be provided to you at an alarming rate. Again, pace yourself. Know the questions that you want to ask, and also know the follow-up questions. So let's say you ask a question pertaining to a product, to a service, or something that pertains to your company. You get the expected response. But then since you have that person, you've got them locked in and engaged, how do you ask those follow-up questions to really drive that point home? Again, MJ BizCon is one of the only opportunities that many of us have to connect with those at some of the top of their professions. There's a saying that when people ask me, how connected is the cannabis industry? And I tell them it's not like any other industry in the world, where it's natural resources, power, energy, science. In most industries, from the entry level to the top tiered position, there's usually a lot of variable levels to that. In the cannabis industry, from the most entry level person to the most corporate level person, there's no more than usually 2 to 3 degrees of separation. And what I mean by that is your point of contact that you may know is usually no more than 2 to 3 degrees from that person who's at the top level of the entity that you're trying to connect with, or the point of contact that you're trying to find. So knowing the questions to ask, asking the questions, but also the follow-up. Now, there's something else that is very important when it comes to MJ BizCon, and it is the world that we live in, and that is social media. That's right. The thing that keeps a lot of us doing this, and LOLing, social media. Social media is a powerful tool that could really help you to maximize your experience at MJ BizCon. Some of the tips and points that I've used in previous years was months, weeks, days leading up to the conference. I researched the brands that I wanted to speak to someone with. I researched their products. I went to their websites. Once I found out who was who, what was what, and where was the booth, the next step was to connect to the booth. But how do you do this prior to the conference? Social media is key. Social media is one of the most utilized tools in the cannabis industry, but for MJ BizCon especially, this could potentially help you maximize your reach and your output for your week. And what do I mean by that? Learn to leverage your social media platforms to share your experiences, connect with other attendees, and stay updated on real-time happenings at the conference. Why is this important? Because events hashtag often join relevant conversations. If there is an event where somewhere to come up with a catchy hashtag and that is the mantra for the week, sometimes things like that can help you connect with those who may be working on that project, working on that team with that group, because social media is one of the key figures that keeps us all connected. And without social media, I don't think a lot of us would know each other. And these conferences help us follow up on that. Another thing with social media is if you're an influencer, if you're a product, if you're a service, or even if you're a brand, collaborating with other brands could potentially grow your network and maybe get some more visibility on your brand. Utilize your social media such as X, formerly known as Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube. These platforms could potentially help you gain the views and gain the exposure that you've been craving. There may be a product that you've been wanting to connect with, a service that offers one of the most amazing products in their field. The product service may have been looking for an influencer. The influencer is looking for a product. The product service is looking for an influencer. Social media may be your opportunity to marry your work, your passion, and leverage that with companies who are working in the space that you want to work in. Now, I know social media, staying organized, there's a lot that's going into this video and a lot goes to this conference. Well, there's a lot that goes into being a business owner. There's a lot that goes into networking. And one of the big things that Infra is big on is leveraging your brand and our network. It is imperative that as we continue to push advocacy, push the social justice work, and push our passion to help those communities affected by the war on drugs, it is imperative that you take your brand with you. Our president and founder, Ms. Roz McCarthy, is one who has always told us, take your brand with you. You are your brand. Represent your brand and be ready to work that brand in every room. Again, many of us, we are a brand. Show it, work it, know the room, work the room, and work MJ BizCon to help your brand. M for MM, again, we will be on the floor, so I don't have our booth number just yet. Stay tuned to our social medias. I'll be sure to keep everyone in where you can find us on the booth. But this leads me into one of my favorite parts of the conference is the collection of information. First timers, you're going to have those swag bags the first day, and every booth you go to is going to be getting lighters and hats and this and t-shirts. By the end of the day, you're going to realize this bag's getting a little heavy. By the second day, you're going to realize, whew, I need another bag. And by day 3, you don't want anything else from another table. Well, one thing that you want to collect with that swag is information. Yes, it is hard to maintain all the business cards, all the flyers, all the brochures that you're going to get. It's going to be difficult to keep up with all the QR codes. I like to use a platform known as CamCard, CamCard. I am not being paid by CamCard. It is just a product service that I prefer to use. It is an app that I download to my iPad. What it does is it is a business networking app. So it takes points of contacts and puts that into a Rolodex for you. So for some younger generation who may not know what a Rolodex is, imagine you go to a conference and you have 500 business cards. You take the business card, you open up the app, you then scan said business card. Upon scanning the business card, it actually imports that business card into the app. Name, phone number, point of contact, email address. There's paid options of the app. There's also free versions of the app. I currently use the free version. If you do want the more robust version of the app, you could always do a free, I want to say it's 4-day trial. Your average conference isn't any more than 3 or 4 days. So many times that free 3-day trial could be the duration of the conference that you need it for. Now, once you get all of these points of contact scanned into the app, it creates a database for you. You can then export this database to your team, or when you're going back through and you're trying to think of a particular booth and you're like, oh, who was that had the digital 3D printed labels for holographics? Oh, you go back through CamCard, bam, you've got the person, the name, the point of contact. And if you make a robust connection with said vendor or said representative, a lot of times I'll take a picture and add that to the cam card, to the contact, whether it's the key point of contact, whether it's some of the points that I remember, or that person, a point of emphasis that I want to do. So again, cam card is my conference go-to. I've been using it for several years now, and I have used it at multiple conferences. It is great if you are a person like myself who attends multiple conferences, multiple events. It's easy to separate it by conference, by event, by state, and by year, because a lot of times there may be people that you've connected with before. And when you re-engage with those people, that's just a good opportunity to follow up on previous engagements. So again, collecting the information, gathering business cards, brochures, or any relevant materials from contacts, exhibitors, presenters. Take notes on key insights and follow up promptly after the conference, because you really want to make sure that the follow up is just as strong as the connection. And the reason for that is you really want to make sure that you solidify the connections that you made, because with MJ Biz Con at the end of the year, and we all want to finish strong as we get ready for 2024. And that brings me down to one of the final points, is to reflect and plan post-conference. So what I mean by that is you do need to sit back and analyze, after the conference, if it's just you, if it's a team, if it's a group of you, take the time to reflect on your experience, reflect on the lessons you learned, but also develop a post-conference action plan incorporating new contacts, insights, new strategies, and putting all that into your business and career path for the cannabis industry. All of these factors working together could potentially lead you to a more memorable experience at MJ BizCon, but more so than the memories, I want you to have the success. And that is why these key points such as strategic planning, networking, having a focus on networking, attending educational sessions, having a prepared elevator pitch is paramount. Research exhibitors, stay organized, engage in Q&A opportunities, making sure you have a social media presence, connecting, engaging on social media, collecting information. Again, my go-to is CamCard. I'm going to use CamCard again this year. For me, and with the way I learn and process information, CamCard just makes it easy. Many times it's easy to throw out the opening pitch, but sometimes you need a relief pitch or a closing. So understanding that throwing out the first pitch is great. What happens if you got a full count and it's 3-2 count? So knowing how to follow up, engaging that follow up, but also collecting the information to use the information, use the insights from your relevant industry experience at MJ BizCon to propel you and your business into 2024. And again, always being sure to reflect and plan post-conference. Usually the week after MJ Biz Con, I don't want to see another business card. I don't want another invite to another mixer, at least until beginning of the year, because it's very overwhelming. It can be a lot, and again, as I said before, pace yourself. We here at Minorities for Medical Marijuana are adamant when it comes to MJ BizCon. This is one of the biggest weeks for our organization. Again, on this year, we will be doing our Infra MM Dice Mixer. This year's theme is celebrating cannabis and diversity experience. A dice mixer celebrating cannabis and culture for the 50 years in hip hop celebration. Tickets are available on Eventbrite. Again, if you've been in previous years, you know that every single year the dice mixer gets bigger, it gets bolder, and it gets better. So those who were attending last year, you know that Redman came through and blessed us on the DJ booth. We had a great night full of food, fun, networking, and good vibes with my M for MM tribe. So again, please mark your calendars for Wednesday, November 29th. The Diversity in Cannabis Experience presents Cannabis in Culture, MJ BizCon's M for MM special edition of our dice mixer. And again, the dice mixer stands for Diversity in Cannabis Experience. These dice mixers are my favorite part of MJ BizCon. Um, I've been for years, and you know that there's a lot of parties, there's a lot of networking that goes on, there's a lot of events. And every event has its own theme, has its own energy. But I learned pretty quickly that not every event has the same energy, where you feel as welcome, where you feel as you're wanted at that party. And that's not at our party. We're going to have tacos, music. We're going to have the dab bar. There's going to be a great list of special guests that are coming. I know one of our special announced guests is, I think, Mr. Martin Luther King III. So we're really continuing with the policy discussion, the cannabis, the culture discussion. So you don't want to miss it. Again, set your calendars. November 29th, Las Vegas, Nevada, Infra MM Dice Mixer celebrating 50 years of hip hop. And it's gonna be located at Las Vegas Starbase. So for those who know, we will be at Starbase again. For those who were there last year and the year before, we're only getting bigger, bolder, and better this year. So make sure you get your tickets before they sell out. Most people are always hitting us up the week of trying to get tickets. The week of, we are really trying to lock in and make sure everything goes well for our attendees. So please make sure you get over to Eventbrite, get that ticket beforehand. You don't want to even have to think about it, because if you know how we party, you know this the party you don't want to miss. It's going to always be professional, sexy, with a splash of culture. And again, those tacos. So, stay tuned. M for MM, the Dice Mixer, MJ BizCon 2023. It's going to be a great week. Before we get out of here, a few follow-up house notes is stay tuned for our upcoming Health is Wellness with Nicole Buffon. We will be returning with Canna Talk with Ross very soon, along with What's the 411 with our own Kit Grimes. So if you are interested in our MM programming, please be sure to hit that like button, that follow, subscribe, but set your alerts on. So when we post, you know. When we go live, you know, because we're going to always continue to bring you the information that you need straight from the source, straight to the people, all around the edges with no fluff. So again, MJ BizCon, Dice Mixer. Again, for those who were with us last month, we are pushing forward with the Iconoclast project. Stay tuned. We're going to be launching potentially the end of this month. So for farmers who are looking to participate in the Iconoclast project, we will be pushing out that landing page soon with that farmer intake form for the Acres for Change program. And again, that Acres for Change program is going to be in the following program states, and this is our hemp program that is aimed at assisting historically disadvantaged and marginalized farmers. And the program states for the Acres for Change is Colorado, Florida, Nebraska, Pennsylvania, Texas, Virginia, and Wisconsin. So thank you all for your patience. We've been working really hard with the Iconoclast team to really put together a robust program for you that's going to be full of deliverable resources. So again, if you are a hemp farmer or you are a farmer registered with the USDA and you're looking to receive assistance and resources by participating in our Acres for Change program, again, as you see at the bottom of the screen, those states are Colorado, Florida, Nebraska, Pennsylvania, Texas, Virginia, and Wisconsin. We would love to hear from you. Stay tuned for future episodes of Sow the Land. We will have links for you to be able to click, and we will be emailing that out very soon. So again, my name is Stanley Atkins II, your National Director of Hemp Farming and Technology with Minorities for Medical Marijuana. And this has been our special episode of M4MM Sow the Land, MJ Biz Con Edition. I want to make sure that each and every one of you has an opportunity to learn about MJ Biz Con, to join us at MJ Biz Con, but also maximize your potential at MJ Biz Con. And if you are going to be there, make sure you come to our Dice Mixer and tag us on social media. If you come by the M4MM booth, be sure to tag us on social media at M4MM United. And if you see Black Buddha Cannabis out and about, make sure, get a pic, tag them, and you never know, you may be able to see Black Buddha Cannabis in a dispensary in a state near you. And before we get out of here, I do want to close by saying congratulations to the state of Ohio for legalizing adult use cannabis. Congratulations. Maybe the South one day will have something to say and we'll get on board with that. But again, congratulations to all of the states that continue to push for marijuana and cannabis reform through legalization, decriminalization, medical programs, etc. With each state that comes on board, that leaves us with additional work to do, and that is why our Project Clean Slate is returning in full force in 2024. Our medical cannabis card clinics will be returning as well. Shout out to DJ, shout out to Keisha, Kanish. Stay tuned for M4MM programming. Thank you all, and I will see y'all in Vegas. CanniMedic out.